the kind of concurrence of expanding diagnostic criteria and the proper reporting to public policy is actually, believe it or not, kind of a miracle of a perfect marriage of public policy and science. And we risk eroding that now. Because the problem was that in the 90s, we saw these increased diagnosis rates, and we immediately thought, epidemic. No, it means we were doing our job.
Yeah, and everything's a conspiracy if you don't understand it, but conspiracies always get lost after usually the second question. You just hit on the thing that kills a lot of this conspiracy thing is we didn't start collecting the data, meaning the government, which is how everybody gets their data. Most data comes academically in the federal government. We're going to explain how all that works later. We didn't start collecting this data until 30 years ago. Correct. We've had the diagnosis and the understanding of what the autism spectrum is less than we've had smartphones. That's how new all this is. Like the conspiracy theory is, oh, it just all popped up. But the piece that goes with those two data points is autism, unlike a lot of these other things, and I'm using Down syndrome again because in special education courses like what my mom was dealing with teaching these kids, they were put in the same classes, especially the severe ones, especially the nonverbal ones, things like this, people with communication issues. They were all getting lumped in together.
Yes.
So the reason I bring all that up is you take those two data points. We didn't have the data until the early 90s. We've only had the spectrum for about 14 years now. Right. Autism wasn't the science found it. The parents pushed the science to figure out what was going on. Correct. It's kind of a unique way that it got diagnosed in the first place. But the conspiracy theory people go, oh, well, it didn't even create until this. Like, yes, because the science was lagging. And now we've got this ass backwards thing where we're going the other direction and going, oh, now the parents are telling the science is wrong when the only reason the science is right was the parents in the first place.
The parents were advocating for it in the first place. They were desperate to get services for their kids. They were many of them, one of my favorite people to read about is a woman by the name of Lorna Wing, who was a British researcher who had an autistic daughter, and she was one of the people who questioned a lot of that, questioned the idea that it was unloving parents. And she was one of the first people to translate Hans Asperger's research from German to English, because a lot of it had been thought lost to history because of the war. And Hans Asperger was also a collaborator with the Nazis. We should also add that. But this is so incredibly recent, and it was parents who fought for it. It was parents who pushed for the inclusion of it. Then what happened is you had a lot of autistic people who benefited from the